If Chuka were out of the picture, she might finally receive the attention and love she craved from Emeka. Ifeoma began to devise a sinister plan. Late at night, when everyone was asleep, she
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, and comment. And as a matter of fact, I love you all.
Once upon a time, in a bustling Nigerian village, there lived a man named Emeka. Emeka was a hard-working and respectful man, beloved by his community. One sunny afternoon, Emeka decided it was time to introduce his beloved, Bisola, to his mother, Mama Emeka. Bisola was a beautiful and kind-hearted lady with a smile that could light up a room. Emeka was sure that his mother would love her just as much as he did. He eagerly took Bisola to his mother's village. Mama Emeka was a traditional woman, wise and respected by all. She had high hopes for her only son, and she dreamed of him marrying a woman who would bring honor to their family. As Emeka and Bisola entered, the air was filled with anticipation. Emeka introduced Bisola with pride, his eyes shining with love. But his mother's expression hardened as she took in the sight of Bisola. His mother turned to him and said, "My son, I cannot allow you to marry this woman." Emeka's heart sank. "But why, Mama? Bisola is a good woman and I love her." Mama Emeka shook her head. "Emeka, there are things you do not understand. I have my reasons." Emeka and Bisola were crushed. They left Mama Emeka's house, their hearts heavy with disappointment. Days turned into weeks, and Emeka's sadness grew. Despite his love for Bisola, Mama Emeka refused to accept her into the family, leaving Emeka torn between his heart and his mother's wishes. Time passed, but Emeka's love for Bisola only grew stronger. He couldn't imagine a future without her. One evening, after much contemplation, Emeka made a bold decision. He would marry Bisola with or without his mother's blessing. Determined and resolute, Emeka approached Bisola. "Bisola, I cannot live without you. I have decided that we will get married even if my mother does not approve. Our love is too strong to be denied." Bisola's eyes filled with tears of joy and worry. "Emeka, I love you too, but what about your mother? How can we go against her wishes?" Emeka took her hands in his. "We will find a way to make her understand. But first, let us celebrate our love and build our life together." With the support of their friends and the community, Emeka and Bisola planned a beautiful, intimate wedding. The village gathered to celebrate their union, their joy and love, evident in every smile and song. The day of the wedding arrived. The town was decorated with vibrant colors, and the air was filled with the sound of drums and singing. Emeka stood tall and proud, dressed in elegant traditional attire. Bisola, radiant in her beautifully adorned dress, walked down the aisle with grace and poise. As they exchanged vows, Emeka and Bisola promised to love and support each other through all of life's challenges. Their hearts were full and their spirits were high. However, not everyone shared their joy. Mama Emeka, deeply hurt by Emeka's decision, stayed away from the celebration. She sat alone in her home, struggling with her emotions. Days turned into weeks, and Emeka and Bisola settled into their new life together. They were happy, but Emeka couldn't shake the sadness of his mother's absence from his life. One afternoon, Bisola approached him. "Emeka, I know how much your mother means to you. We must find a way to reconcile with her. She may not have approved of our marriage, but she is still your mother." Emeka nodded, determined to mend the rift. Together, they prepared a special meal and went to his mother. They knocked on the door, their hearts pounding with anticipation. His mother opened the door, her eyes widening in surprise. Emeka stepped forward, his voice filled with emotion. "Mama, I know I have disappointed you, but please understand that my love for Bisola is real. We want you in our lives. Please, let's find a way to move forward together." Tears welled up in his mother's eyes. She saw the sincerity in Emeka's plea and the kindness in Bisola's smile. She realized that holding on to her disapproval would only distance her from the son she loved dearly. After Emeka and Bisola's heartfelt reconciliation with his mother, their life together seemed to blossom. Their love was strong, and they settled into their new home with hope and happiness. However, a new challenge awaited them. For months, Bisola tried to conceive, but despite their best efforts, they faced disappointment after disappointment. The once joyous couple now found themselves grappling with the weight of unfulfilled dreams. Bisola sat by the window one evening, staring out at the setting sun. Her face was a picture of worry and sadness. Emeka approached her, his heart aching for his beloved wife. "Bisola, my love, what's troubling you?" Emeka asked softly. Bisola sighed deeply. "Emeka, I know how much you want a child. I've tried, but it seems I can't bear one. I feel like I'm failing you." Emeka took her hand gently. "You are not failing me, Bisola. We'll face this together. We can seek medical help. What matters is that we are together." Bisola nodded, trying to hold back her tears. "I just wished things were different." Determined to help Bisola, Emeka took her to a respected doctor in the city. The doctor ran tests and offered them a glimmer of hope. "Sometimes medical issues can be managed. We'll do everything we can to help you," said the doctor. Despite the doctor's encouragement, the road to a solution was not easy. The treatments were difficult and emotionally draining. Bisola's health began to take a toll, and her spirit wavered. The stress of the treatments began to affect their relationship. Emeka, though supportive, was often exhausted and worried. He worked hard to provide for their medical expenses, but the strain was evident. One night, Bisola broke down. "Emeka, I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I can go on like this. I'm afraid I'm dragging you down with me." Emeka held her close. "Bisola, we are in this together. I love you more than anything. We'll find a way through this." With their relationship under pressure, Emeka and Bisola decided to talk openly about their fears and hopes. They sat together in their cozy living room, the warm glow of the lamp casting soft light around them. "Bisola," Emeka began, "we need to remember what brought us together in the first place. Our love and commitment to each other are more important than anything else, whether we have a child or not." Tears welled up in Bisola's eyes. "I know, Emeka. I just wanted so badly to give you a child." Emeka wiped her tears away. "We have options. Let's consider adoption or even look into other ways we can make a difference. Our family isn't defined by blood, but by love and support." As the weight of this challenge grew heavier, Emeka decided to seek his mother's advice once more. He knew that his mother's wisdom had guided him through many of life's difficulties before, and he hoped she could offer some guidance now. One evening, Emeka took a deep breath and made his way back home. He felt nervous, but he knew he needed to talk to her. Emeka arrived at his mother's compound, his heart pounding. The house was as serene as ever, but Emeka couldn't shake his apprehension. He knocked on the door and his mother opened it, her face showing a mix of surprise and curiosity. "Emeka, my son, what brings you here?" his mother asked, her tone warm yet reserved. "Mother," Emeka began, Bisola and I are facing difficulties. We've been trying to have a child, but it hasn't worked. I need your advice and I need to understand why this is happening. His mother invited him inside, and they sat in the living room where the warmth of the fire created a comforting ambience. Emeka explained the challenges he and Bisola were facing, his voice tinged with frustration and worry. His mother listened intently, her expression thoughtful. After a moment of silence, she spoke, her voice gentle but firm. Emeka, I warned you about Bisola because of the issues their family has faced with bearing children. It was not to hurt you, but to prepare you. Emeka's eyes widened in surprise. I didn't understand at the time. Can you help us find a solution? Said Emeka. Mama Emeka groaned, her eyes reflecting a deep sadness. Their family has long struggled with this issue. I should have been more clear about the potential difficulties, but now we must face this reality together. Determined to address the situation, Emeka and his mother began discussing possible solutions. His mother's experience and wisdom became invaluable as they sought medical advice and explored different options. Mama Emeka also shared her own experiences and insights, helping Emeka and Bisola understand the broader context of their struggle. She emphasized the importance of resilience and support in the face of challenges. With his mother's guardians, Emeka and Bisola sought further medical evaluations and explored alternative paths to parenthood. His mother's support brought a sense of unity and hope to their journey. One evening, as Emeka and Bisola sat together, the conversation turned to their seemingly insurmountable challenge. The atmosphere was somber, and both were deeply troubled by their situation. Bisola sighed heavily, her eyes filled with sadness. Emeka, I know we've tried everything. It feels like we are running out of options. What should we do now? Emeka took a deep breath, his face etched with concern. Have been thinking about our options. In some cultures, it's not uncommon for a man to marry a second wife if the first wife cannot bear children. Bisola's eyes widened in shock and pain. You're considering taking another wife? How can you think about that? It feels like giving up on us. Emeka shook his head gently. I'm not giving up on us. I'm thinking about how we can still have a family, but I need to hear how you feel about this. Bisola looked down, tears welling up in her eyes. I don't know if I can handle this. It feels like a betrayal of everything we've worked for together. But I also want to see you happy and fulfilled, she said. Emeka decided to consult his mother, hoping her wisdom could offer some clarity. He arrived at her home, feeling both hopeful and apprehensive. His mother welcomed him inside, and they sat down in the same cozy living room where they had shared many important conversations. Emeka explained the situation, his voice heavy with emotion. Mother, Emeka began, we've tried all possible solutions, but nothing has worked. I'm considering marrying a second wife who can give us a child. What do you think? His mother listened intently with a mixture of concern. Emeka, this is a difficult decision. It's important to remember that while tradition may offer solutions, it's crucial to consider the emotional and relational impact of such a choice. Emeka nodded. I understand. I'm torn between maintaining our family's integrity and the desire to have children, he said. His mother groaned deeply. Remember, a family is built on love and mutual respect. Before making any decisions, you must consider how this will affect all involved. Communication and understanding are key. Emeka decided to take a second wife in the hopes of having a child. The decision was difficult, but Emeka believed it was the best course of action to fulfill his dream of becoming a father. Emeka's new wife, Ifeoma, was a kind and gentle woman from a neighboring town. The wedding ceremony was a grand affair filled with traditional costumes and celebrations. Emeka hoped this new union would bring the longed-for child into their lives. Bisola supported Emeka's decision, though it was a difficult and emotional choice for her. She welcomed Ifeoma into their home, hoping that this new chapter would finally bring them the family they had always dreamed of. Months passed, and despite their hopes and preparations, Ifeoma also faced difficulties in conceiving. The couple sought medical help, but the results were disheartening. The strain of the situation began to take its toll on their relationships. One evening, Emeka sat with Ifeoma in their home, both looking worried and exhausted. Ifeoma, Emeka said softly, "We've tried everything, but it seems we are not able to have a child together. I don't know what to do anymore." Ifeoma looked down, her voice trembling. "Emeka, I'm so sorry. I wanted to make you happy and fulfill your dream, but it seems like life has different plans for us." The ongoing struggle with both wives began to affect the family dynamics. Bisola, despite her own pain, tried to support Emeka and Ifeoma. However, the tension and disappointment were evident. One day, Emeka and Bisola sat together, discussing their situation. Bisola, Emeka said, "I never imagined things would turn out this way. We have tried so hard, and now it feels like we are back where we started." Bisola took his hand. "Emeka, we need to accept that sometimes life doesn't go as planned. Our family is about more than just having children. It's about the love and support we give each other." One evening, Emeka and Bisola sat together in their living room, where Bisola had a special announcement. Emeka noticed her nervous but excited demeanor. "Bisola, you seemed anxious," Emeka said, looking concerned. Bisola took a deep breath and smiled. "Emeka, I have something to tell you. I'm pregnant." Emeka's eyes widened in shock and joy. "Pregnant? Are you sure?" Bisola nodded, her eyes sparkling with hope. "Yes, I've seen the doctor and it's true. I'm going to have a baby." The news of Bisola's pregnancy quickly spread, and Emeka's family was filled with excitement. Mama Emeka, though initially surprised, was overjoyed to hear the news. Emeka and Bisola prepared for the arrival of their baby with renewed energy. They decorated the nursery, gathered baby supplies, and eagerly waited the new addition to their family. After months of anticipation, Bisola went into labor. The entire household was busy with activity as they rushed to the hospital. Emeka stayed by Bisola's side, offering support and encouragement. In the hospital, Bisola gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Emeka held his son for the first time, tears of joy streaming down his face. When they returned home, Emeka, Bisola and their baby were welcomed with open arms. The family gathered to celebrate the arrival of the new baby, who they named Chuka. Bisola and Emeka were home filled with love and happiness as they introduced Chuka to their extended family. Ifeoma, despite her own struggles, embraced the new addition with grace and support. With Chuka's arrival, the family dynamic shifted once again. Emeka and Bisola found joy in their new roles as parents, and the bond between them grew stronger. Mama Emeka, with tears of happiness in her eyes, held her grandson and reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment. As baby Chuka settled into his new home, his presence brought immense joy and fulfillment to Emeka and Bisola. However, the happiness was overshadowed by growing tension. Ifeoma, the second wife, struggled with feelings of jealousy and inadequacy. Despite her efforts to show support, her internal conflicts grew darker. One evening, Ifeoma sat alone in her room, her face clouded with bitterness and jealousy. She watched from a distance as Emeka doted on Chuka and Bisola, feeling increasingly left out and neglected. Her mind raced with dark thoughts. She believed that if Chuka were out of the picture, she might finally receive the attention and love she craved from Emeka. Ifeoma began to devise a sinister plan. Late at night, when everyone was asleep, she sneaked to the nest where baby Chuka slept peacefully in his crib. Her heart pounded as she considered her actions, but her jealousy overpowered her reasoning. She quietly approached the crib, her hands trembling. Just as she was about to execute her dark plan, she was interrupted by a sudden noise from outside the room. Bisola, unable to sleep, decided to check on Chuka. As they walked towards the nursery, she heard strange noises and felt a growing sense of unease. She opened the door to the nest and saw Ifeoma standing by the crib, her face mixed with fear and anger. Bisola's heart raced as she realized what was happening. "What are you doing here, Ifeoma?" Bisola demanded, her voice trembling. Ifeoma froze, her face pale with shock. "Bisola, I didn't mean to. I was just," she stammered. Bisola quickly moved to the crib and picked up Chuka, holding him protectively. "Ifeoma, you must leave. We need to talk about this. You cannot harm our child," said Bisola. Emeka, hearing the commotion, rushed into the room. He saw the tension and realized the gravity of the situation. "Ifeoma, what's going on? Why are you in here?" he asked. Ifeoma broke down in tears, confessing her feelings of jealousy and inadequacy. "I'm sorry, Emeka. I didn't know what I was doing. I've been feeling so left out and unimportant." Emeka, deeply hurt, struggled to process the betrayal. "Ifeoma, this is unacceptable. We need to find a way to address these feelings, but you cannot stay here after this," he said to her. Emeka and Bisola decided to seek professional help for Ifeoma, hoping that counseling and therapy might help her deal with her emotions and find a healthier way to cope with her feelings. They also set clear boundaries and made it known that any further attempts to harm the family would not be tolerated. Ifeoma agreed to seek help and with time began the process of understanding and addressing her emotional struggles. After a tumultuous period filled with emotional trials and personal growth, life took another unexpected turn. Ifeoma, Emeka's second wife, gave birth to a baby girl. One evening, Ifeoma went into labor. Emeka and Bisola, despite their past conflicts, were supportive of Ifeoma during this critical time. They all rushed to the hospital while Ifeoma was prepared for delivery. In the delivery room, Emeka stayed by Ifeoma's side, offering encouragement and support as she brought her daughter into the world. Ifeoma gave birth to a baby girl who they named Achiever. Emeka held Achiever for the first time, his heart filled with a mix of emotions. The birth of Achiever marked a new chapter, and despite the recent conflict, there was an undeniable sense of joy. Ifeoma looked at her daughter with tears of relief and happiness. The birth of Achiever symbolized a new beginning, not only for Ifeoma but for the entire family. Back at home, Emeka and Bisola introduced Achiever to their household. The arrival of the baby brought a fresh wave of emotions and adjustments. Bisola, despite the challenges they had faced, welcomed Achiever with grace and support. The family gathered to celebrate the new arrival with traditional ceremonies. Mama Emeka, although still processing the complexities of the family situation, expressed her happiness for the new addition. As Achiever settled into the family, Emeka and Bisola worked to balance their relationships and maintain harmony. Ifeoma, now a mother, began to focus on her new role and the responsibilities that came with it. Bisola and Ifeoma, despite their past conflicts, found common ground in their shared experience as mothers. They supported each other, working towards a peaceful coexistence. The family dynamics evolved as Emeka, Bisola and Ifeoma adjusted to the new reality. Emeka and Bisola continued to foster their relationship, focusing on their love for Chuka and their new role as parents. They included Achiever in their family activities, creating a nurturing environment for both children. The arrival of Achiever was a turning point in Emeka's family journey. Despite the previous trials and conflicts, the new baby brought a sense of renewal and hope. The family embraced the changes, working together to build a loving and supportive environment. Their story continued with resilience, understanding, and a commitment to growing together as a family.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, and comment. And as a matter of fact, I love you all.